So those are all reasons why she wouldn't stay in this area and why she could flee.
Judge Stephen Miller set bail at $250,000 cash or $500,000 bond. Bush is scheduled back in court in January. Also new at noon, Rochester police are looking for a group of people they say were driving recklessly and crashed into a home. This started at the corner of Hudson Avenue and St. Stanislaus Street. That's right near Padilla High School, formerly Franklin High School. Police say they were speaking to a group of teens when two Kias rushed by at high rates of speed, swerving in and out of traffic. RPD then says they found one of the Kias abandoned on Chevelin Street after it had crashed into a home there. Police are asking for anyone with information to call 911.
News 10 NBC on the radio. Weekdays at 5 a.m., noon, 5, 6, and 11 on the WYSL stations.
Mira a la izquierda, mira a la derecha. ¿Qué ves? ¿Dónde estás? In a world that seems to change daily, what will you do next? Welcome to the Next Steps Show with Peter Vasquez, a starting point for discussion y un poco de dirección. Buenas tardes, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, it is Friday, the last day of the week. Woo-hoo! Weekend, here we come. Hey, Bob, how are you, sir?
Estoy bien.
Bueno, me alegra saber. Hey, you want to hear some really important news? Or
Sure.
not really news.
Yeah. It was, all this week, nothing but trivial news. Dumb, meaningless, irrelevant news. Finally, we get something important.
Actually, this is because what this news is that it shows that the whole concept of the nuclear family is really taking root because, even the criminals now are starting to realize that if they work together as a nuclear family, they can get more things done. So, for example, right, there was this mom and son that got arrested. Apparently she was arguing with her baby daddy and some other guy, and they got mad, and she went home and got her 19-year-old son and came back and shot the guy and stabbed the other guy together as a family.
Just another night in Rochester.
But listen, unity, right? We talk about it all the time. So listen, kudos to them. Although glad to hear that they get that they did get caught and that they're going to end up spending some time in prison together. So
they'll make lots of new friends.
Quality time, new friends. Listen, as long as we keep that family together, that is the goal, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, in case you didn't know, the National Center for Education Statistics reveals that during the 2022 and 2023 school year, 79% of students who had parents who attended school and class events. And as a result, I guess, 89% of those parents also participated in general school meetings, which resulted in schools or students doing much better because in 2024, the thing is this, the 2024 Pew Research Center, Bob, says that 79% of teachers in schools K through 12 believe that parents do too little to hold their children accountable to misbehavior.
Okay.
I thought you'd find that interesting.
Yeah.
68% feel that parents do too little to help with schoolwork. I mean, hey, you know what, ladies and gentlemen? I bring that to your attention because today is National Parents as Teachers Day. And I think those statistics really show the importance of this day and the obligation that as parents that we should have to be able to teach our kids and get them out of that nonsense.
Yeah, exactly. What a better country would be if more people homeschooled.
It is.
Because they wouldn't have kids who've been stuffed full of lies, anti-American lies.
But, we do have parents that aren't involved at all, though, Bob. I mean, that's not a lie. That's not minimized.
I know. They think that there's parents out there who think that, okay, we raised this kid through age 4, and now he's all yours.
Yep.
To the public schools. Bad idea.
And then society shifted from, well, you know what, from a society that talked about some societal ills and talked about solutions and did it in a way that really brought people together and did it through entertainment. Like, for example, if we remember All in the Family, gosh, I love that show. It was a learning experience for me.
It was great. Very timely.
It was, I thought so. And the thing is, when he talked about these things, they talked about it in a way that wasn't derogatory. He was pointing out the issues, but there was always a counter. Like, for example, this clip that we're going to play with Archie, if we can play clip 2, por favor, señor.
Hey, Archie, is that the way you're going to talk to your grandson?
No, I ain't going to hurt his little feelings and things like that. Let me tell you something. Anybody that makes a Polak crack to my grandson gets a shot in the mush from me. I hate people that are always calling other people names. Now, your Irish mix are very big on that. With all their jokes, see? And the Mafia. Now, the Mafia, they're the ones that started the Polak show to take the heat off of the Dangos. So I don't want no more of your racial jokes around here because I can't stand people who are always knocking minorities.
See,
what a great character.
For every,
Archie Bunker.
For every statement, there was a correction. There was and they said it in jest, and it got people talking about these issues that has now become so divisive. I mean, to the point where it's even created a victimhood mentality that I keep preaching about.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's just an excuse, as we all know. It's like, hey, divide them, no matter what it takes.
Absolutely. But, though, I think it stifled things like prosperity and growth.
Stifled. I see what you did there. It was one of Archie's favorite words.
Stifled. But you're right. I've been hearing that word. Hey, Bob D'Angelo, before the show, was talking about the rural purge, and he said, ask Savage about it. Can you expound on that? Because it caught my attention.
Well, it's kind of a left turn here, but it's about primetime programming in the 1960s. They had all these rural comedies, mostly on CBS. You had Andy Griffith, you had Echo Junction.
Hogan Zero, he mentioned?
Yeah, that wasn't really a rural comedy. It was kind of a military, spoof. But, there was all these rural comedies. I can't remember the rest of them. But in any case, they all kind of they sort of went away, interestingly, with the advent of color. Because color TV started in the late 50s, but there wasn't much on prime time until the mid 60s because the price of color TVs had to come down. And so that also contributed. They needed a whole new look for the primetime lineup. So part of it was the formula. Oh, Green Acres, that was another one. The formula was getting stale, and then they also wanted vehicles for new color shows.
So why did color interrupt shows? I'm assuming things like Different Strokes and the Jeffersons Moving On. I'm assuming all that fell into those same shows as well.
Yeah, well, those are part of the new the new urban emphasis.
Interesting stuff.
A lot of police cop shows, a lot of secret agent shows,
Well, the Jeffersons Jeffersons, even the Different Strokes, they really focused on prosperity for Black and Brown America.
Right.
Which I guess that's the urban.
It's the whole theme song of the Jeffersons, spin-off from All in the Family. We're moving on up to a deluxe apartment in the sky.
Well, there's a statement here on clip 3 that I want to play, Bob, that really talks about something that I found to be important. I think Malcolm X kind of says the same thing, in a roundabout kind of way. Why don't we play it?
Let me tell you something about people. That bartender's willing to work for me because you got enough green in your pocket, then black becomes his favorite color.
I mean, tell me something. Since when did Black America decide that dependency was more profitable than prosperity, than growth, than education? I mean, I believe that the whole anti-slavery movement truly proved that group, that population, I guess if we're going to look at it that way, Bob, understands the concept of hard work and having the freedoms to be able to go out and do the things that they do. So I guess I'm still a little befuddled with the fact that here locally and even, statewide, so many people that have worked against these kind of philosophies and is using concepts like the Jeffersons, like George just said, against the Black and Brown community.
Well, it has to do with the advent of the race hustlers. The Al Sharptons, Jesse Jacksons. There's big money in racial division.
Yeah, there is. And that's a sad twist. And I think we saw it really, and maybe I'm wrong. I know this show shows, it aired from 71 to 79. And it really talks about, where we are as a nation. When we look at, I hope I got these clips written down right on my sheet, Bob.
Okay, well, why don't we take a break, and then you can sort it out. We'll take it from there.
No, it is. I'm just joking. But go ahead.
Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Stop it.
Re-intro, because
this is
why
it.
not? Ladies,
there we go.
We are the Next Step Show. Listen, we'll be right back, right here on WYSL con el señor Sabah y Peter Vasquez.
585-346-3000, a number to call if you're in the Southern Tier. 1-866-552-1009 on the Voice of Liberty.
You were messing around with boyfriend and that was better left alone. That's why guy that you know good right. In the life more that I ain't about to rip your heart. 'Cause it's only on fire to share with you.
In the Rochester and Finger Lakes region, one name stands above all others for real estate appraisal and advice.
Ryan Murphy and Associates.
This full-service real estate appraisal company can appraise and advise on purchase and sales decisions, mortgage finance feasibility, estate, matrimonial, partnership buyouts, litigation, and more for any type of property, both residential and commercial. Ryan Murphy was founded almost 40 years ago. All of our highly trained staff members have at least 20 years of experience. All our appraisers are either New York State certified general or residential real estate appraisers.
Ryan Murphy and Associates.
Start here. RYNNEMurphy.com.
For the last couple of years, Joe Robach has been telling you about Flower City Collision in Henrietta, saying that it was started by a veteran along with his son, Zach. Hi, my name is Craig Sadwick, and I am that veteran. I want to thank the WYSL listeners for their support over the last couple of years. During those years, not only have I experienced the gratification of providing you the best repairs and customer service, it has also allowed me the opportunity to see my son develop as a young professional. So remember, Flower City Collision for your collision repair needs. And thank you for supporting our locally owned family business.
Keep your vehicle in tip-top shape. For quality, affordable vehicle service, rely on Rock Auto Service. 1132 Westridge Road. Rock Auto has what your car, truck, or SUV needs. Oil change, brakes, suspension, alignments, exhaust, air conditioning, and tires. Check their Google reviews as one of Rochester's best for customer satisfaction. Owner and U.S. Army veteran Dave Ferris welcomes military service personnel and veterans. Rock Auto.
Last spot.
Westridge Road, just east of Mount Reed, 434-5010.
Peter Vasquez and Next Step Show on the WYSL stations.
And the program brought to you proudly by Ryan Murphy and Associates, real estate appraisals, residential and commercial. Flower City Collision, veteran owned. Get it done right. Rock City Auto. Westridge Road near Mount Reed on the WYSL stations. Here's Peter.
I am absolutely fully organized, Senor Bob. My cuts are numbered correctly. Thank you for letting me verify that. See, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you, sometimes humanity, it kind of gets in the way. If we were all robots, we'd all be the same, but we wouldn't have to stop and take a look at the numbers again.
Wisdom from Peter Vasquez.
Hey, listen, that's why we're here every day, todos los días at noon. But listen, though, from 1971 to 79, a time in our country's history where we were still trying to figure out what happens, kind of after slavery. Where do people fit in? It was a big issue really back then. I know during that time, Bob, as I mentioned before, I come from a lineage of people that here in Rochester, Bob, fought for equal rights, believe it or not, to become or have an ability to serve in Rochester police departments. My cousins and others participated in all that stuff. And as a result, now we have a diverse team here. I don't think we ever had big riots, though, or fires or anything
in
like
Rochester?
That. Well, no, I mean from the Hispanic community when we were doing our picketing out at the police stations and stuff like that.
Just on the Puerto Rican festival.
But
telling the truth.
In their defense, it's not the Puerto Rican festival. Just the result of the Puerto Rican festival.
That's what we call hair splitting. I don't know what's Spanish for hair splitting. Hey, let's go to Keith. We got Keith has been patiently waiting on the line here. Keith, yes. You're up. What's going on?
To answer Mr. Vasquez's question about when the really bad racial stuff happened, Peter, the exact year was 1965, and the two bad guys who got together to kick it off were President Lyndon Baines Johnson, LBJ, and Senator Ted Kennedy. They colluded to cut up the black family, take the black father out of the family, and to have the remaining spouse, the politely black female, forever tied to the government teat. 1965, LBJ and Ted Kennedy. I'm going to say it. I won't say the word. But LBJ threw around the N-word and said forever they, the N-word, will be forever tied to the Democrat Party, and that has held true. They're even bringing down the figures of the number of black people by category who voted for Trump. They were hoping for a third, and they've got it down to as low as 20% of the black male category voting for Trump. They raised the percentages for Hispanics right after the election from 40% to much closer to 50. 1 out of 2 Hispanics voted for Trump. So in closing, when you get LBJ, the actual American president, as a slap of a Senator Ted Kennedy, conniving to cut up, my phrase, everyone, is true, to cut up the black family and forever keep them tied to the government welfare and all that, and say goodbye to the black father, off to prison. That is what happened 1965, starkly.
Absolutely. Hey, Keith, did we lose him?
He's there.
Oh, hey, Keith, why do you, I have to assume that as a result of that is the reason why shows like All in the Family kind of came around to kind of help deal with some of those issues, do you think? And then where do you think it shifted from being able to have that kind of discourse to now where everything is so divisive, or you know, if Archie Bunker was on the air today, the makers, the writers would be arrested?
Well, All in the Family was a mid-season replacement. It came on exactly in January,
January 1st.
The actor who played Archie Bunker, Carol O'Connor, was himself a big-time Hollywood lib. And I'm going to say this, be very much conservative. I've noticed that liberal actors are very good at playing conservative characters, but us conservatives have a hard time playing libs. Carol O'Connor also went on to star in The Heat of the Night as that sheriff who was Gillespie, who was conservative. But again, Carol O'Connor, just like his meathead son in real life, Rob Reiner. Now, Carl Reiner, his father, was very funny. Rob Reiner, in real life, just like Archie said, "Oh, you meathead, dead from the neck up." But Carol O'Connor playing, everyone should know, Carol O'Connor, Archie Bunker, in real life, Mr. O'Connor, very lib. So something about these libs, they play us conservatives very well. In direct answer, that was the side of the times, as the Dr. Savage said, coming out of the 60s with those aforementioned world shows. But everyone should know by the time of the early 70s, things were changing. People like the Jeffersons. If you've got green in your pocket, then black becomes your favorite color. People were starting to open up and talk to each other. And in closing, that's the problem with today.
Hey, Keith. Yeah, before you go, Keith, I just want to jump in here and say, if you think that conservatives can't play liberals, you got to see Am I Racist? Where you've got Matt Walsh playing Jussie Smollett. It's a great sequence. Actually, you can see it on YouTube.
I was just saying in closing, traditionally, known liberals like Mr. Carol O'Connor, I don't have anything against him. I don't like his politics, of course, but Mr. O'Connor was a good egg, and he could play an Archie Bunker and a Sheriff Gillespie, hands down, no problem. But that's the answer, Peter, if I may, in closing. By the time anyone got into the early 70s, society was opening up, and the very bad thing about Obama is that he shut that down, and he stopped, to say it pointedly, the races from talking to each other. No talking amongst us blacks and whites. Now we had to be at each other's jugular. That falls right at the feet of Barack Obama.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Thanks, Keith. Appreciate that. Bob D'Angelo points out that Carol O'Connor was a Shakespearean actor.
Yeah. He mentioned that. And Keith, remember, and ladies and gentlemen, according to Barack Obama, I would be a white Hispanic, even though both of my parents are from Puerto Rico, but because I'm about your color, remember the whole, we couldn't charge the guy, white Hispanic.
All this racism stuff is so insane.
Can we play this next clip?
No, I don't think so.
Pretty please.
Oh, wait a minute. I just got to find the right screen here. And you want number 4? It goes like this.
Here we are. All right, everybody clamber.
Mr. Archie Bunker, speaking in reply to the editorial broadcast last Saturday.
Good evening, everybody. This is Archie Bunker of 704 Houser Street, veteran of the big war, speaking on behalf of Guns for Everybody. Now, question. What was the first thing that the communists done when they took over Russia? Answer, gun control. And there's a lot of people in this country want to do the same thing to us here in a kind of conspiracy, see. You take your big international bankers, they want to, masticate the people of this here nation like puppets on a wing. And then when they get that done, turn us over to the communists.
Oh, Archie, I'm glad they put you on a stool. You look tall as sitting down.
Now, I want to talk about another thing that's on everybody's mind today, and that's your stick-ups and your sky jackets, which, if that was up to me, I could end the sky jackets tomorrow. You could? All you got to do is arm all your passengers. And then you ain't got no more superiority there, and you ain't going to dare to pull out no rod. And then your airlines, then they wouldn't have to search the passengers on the ground no more. They just pass out the pistols at the beginning of the trip, and then pick them up again at the end. Case closed.
Oh, my gosh. Archie solves gun violence. A lot of truth to what he says.
Yeah, he's not wrong at all. I think that would solve a lot of issues. Did you know that Rob Reiner was a big Kamala Harris supporter?
Oh, of course. He's like... he's left of Stalin. His meathead is crazy liberal.
His role on that show, perfect for him. He didn't have to make
a pale imitation of life, I gotta say.
So I'm curious though, Bob. How do we go? How do we go from having that kind of dialogue publicly in TV to having the kind of dialogue we have now? And the thing is, we have so much. What is that called? Speaking with a forked tongue? But no one notices.
Hypocrisy, I think.
Well, I was trying to be fancy.
Well, yours is much more poetic.
Let's play Cup 5, because see, in Cup 5, this is what was called.
Here we are. All right,
Stop. Jeez. I'm telling you, this thing is jumping the gun. Okay, you want number 5? Here it comes.
We will get through the uncertainty of a new administration in Washington. Because I said, we've done this before. We've been to this. And I will be very clear. While we honor the results of this election and will work with anyone who wants to be a partner in achieving the goals of our administration in our state, that does not mean we'll accept an agenda from Washington that strips away the rights that New Yorkers have long enjoyed.
What's how come we've got Seabiscuit on here? What's the relevance of her?
We're going to shift a little to politics here, because we're going to show how we've shifted. I know it can't all be fun and games, my friend, right? We've got to kind of point out some things here in the Next Step show so that we can have people see kind of like the difference. And this isn't about yesterday and today. This is about the issue of culture that we've been talking about for a long time. The issue of culture that we've been saying has been shifting from this dialogue. I think Keith hit it right on the head of the nail when he said we were heading in a direction where we were being unified, and then we come with this kind of hocus pocus stuff. I'm going to work with him as long as, there's always a but behind these people's I'll work with you. And then they claim that they represent anybody, right? We represent Bob. I'm the governor, and, even if you're not a Democrat, I represent you.
Well, this is what we call lying, and they're exceptionally good at it because they'll say anything to get elected. They'll say anything to get appointments and get advantages. They'll say anything to get committee appointments, and that's just kind of like the way they swing.
They absolutely do. But you see, I think it's gone even further than that. I mean, we've got the AG, and we're going to play this in a clip here in a second. That's pretty much, it's almost like a battle cry, Bob. It's almost like she's telling the people of New York to, to kind of sit there for a second because I'm the all-powerful law, and we're going to handle this Donald Trump guy. Ladies and gentlemen, soy yo, tu conservative New Yorican, and WYSL 346-3000. No cambie ese dial. We'll be right back.
When will those clouds all disappear? Where will it lead us from here? With no loving in our souls and no money in our courts. You can say we're satisfied. And yet, you can say we
Soros Free Talk Radio.
WYSL
27,000 watt AM 1040, FM 92.1, FM 95.5.
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center for today. Lots of sunshine to start. The clouds will move in for the afternoon. A breezy day. Temperatures in the 50s. Tonight could be a brief sprinkle this evening. Clouds will clear overnight. A chilly night down into the 30s. On Saturday, nice sunshine in the upper 40s. On Sunday, increasing clouds with some rain in the afternoon. I'm Rich Canilia, WYSL.
Every day can be a holiday in your new ride from Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 6484 Route 96 in Victor, where they're featuring a select inventory of 2024 4XE Grand Cherokees up to 50% off. Choose from 7 units and hail them. And check this, lease a 2024 Jeep Compass Limited 4x4 SUV at just $249 a month for 42 months. A 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo 4x4 SUV is only $349 a month for 42 months. A 2024 Jeep Compass SUV is just $249 a month for 42 months. A 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4 pickup is $359 a month for 42 months. 1,000 miles per year. All lease deals require lease loyalty. $3,500 down. First payment, DMV taxes and fees for resigning. 7,500 miles per year except pickup. Other conditions may apply. See dealer for details. We welcome Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram customers in Victor, Canandaigua, Macedon, Fairport, and Finger Lakes. Visit the most beautiful new vehicle sales and service dealership in the area. Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, now at 6484 Route 96, just east of Victor.
Debunking advertising from the law office of Christopher Johnson. Get a load of some of those injury attorney TV ads. The insurance company only offered me $5,000. Big injury firm got me $4 million. And the paid actors you see look like they just stepped.
Gary Stout.
The truth, it is tragic, but nobody looks like a soap opera star who's brought an injury case where the award is $4 million. Those unfortunates have injuries that are permanent and debilitating. They'll need every dollar just to have some semblance of a normal life and take care of their families, often for decades. A serious injury isn't a game show where pretty people get big prizes. If you've gotten hurt in a car or on someone's premises, forget the actor portrayals and take the first step towards getting your life and your future back. Straight talk from Christopher Johnson, attorney. Car, truck, motorcycle accidents, personal injury, and DWI defense. Call 585-415-3803. 585-415-3803.
Greg Sedgwick y su hijo Zach, dueños de Flower City Collision, han sido anunciantes en WYSL La Voz de Libertad y agradecen a los oyentes por su apoyo. Si tienen un accidente, contacta a Zach en Flower City Collision en Henrietta. Él trabajará con tu compañía de seguros para asegurar una reparación correcta. Visítalos en flowercitycollision.com.
Pearls, black pearl, black dress, body stocking stretch net, green, blue, pink, purple, black, and red, black pearls, knitted dress with florets, gorgeous. Red, white, yellow, purple, and black. Pearls along the hip, down the sleeve between the bodice. One piece, two piece body stocking. Red, black, purple, pink.
Black Pearl at Show World.
This is the greatest game we've ever seen. 4th and inches on the goal line. Timeout. Hello?
Honey, we need help. The furnace won't turn on, and it's freezing in here.
What's up? Furnace died. No heat.
That's an easy call. Taylor Heating, 500 help.
Moments later. Okay, thanks. It's Taylor for the win. Now back to the game.
Touchdown!
Taylor, 500 help.
Hi, my name is Evan Spindleman, founder and owner of Flood Broker. Flood insurance premiums are skyrocketing, and if you have to have flood insurance coverage to secure your mortgage, you owe it to yourself to call me to see how I can save you money on your flood insurance premium. The insurance programs I use are bank accepted and will satisfy your loan requirement. Please give me a call at 585-736-4366 today to get a free no obligation quote. That's 585-736-4366. Call today.
When someone you love becomes a memory,
Last stop.
at Bartolomeo and Prado Funeral Home, the focus is always on how your loved one lived. Bartolomeo and Prado has been helping families create meaningful tributes and celebrating unique lives for 3 generations. They treat your family like their own, always with the utmost compassion, warmth, and care. When you're in need, call Bartolomeo and Prado Funeral Home 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 585-720-6000.
Peter Vasquez and Next Step Show on the WYSL stations.
I'm telling you. That's why I meant to hit here.
Boy, the way Glenn Miller played.
Songs that made my head parade.
Guys like us, we had it made. Those were the days.
And you knew where you were
Girls were girls and men were men. Mister, we could use a man like Hybrids over again. Didn't need no welfare states.
Everybody pulled his weight.
G.R.O.S. our and great. Those were the days.
Oh, wonderful.
I know. Welcome back.
Edith has the voice, doesn't she?
She does. But you know, isn't that crazy how in 1971, when that came out, they were singing about the exact same things that we're dealing with today?
Here's a secret, unveiled by yours truly. People don't change.
People don't change.
You know, that's why, you read the Canterbury Tales in the 13th century. People are the same. What changes is technology.
Explain
but I mean,
what do you mean? What changes is technology, but people don't change?
Well, because we're living in this tech world now, where we have cell phones and we have the internet and cable TV and satellite and all that. Those things didn't exist certainly in 1971. But people, the prejudices, the jealousies, the lusts, and everything else are all the same.
Yep. Thanks. No, and you're right, 100%. And the thing is, I think the technology, you're right, has led to more people buying into some of the stuff that, that this progressive left decided they wanted to kind of bring back in fashion. Because I'm going to say it again, Keith is right. There was a time, Bob, that we were able to have these conversations. And right around Obama is when I became a white Hispanic, and all of a sudden society started saying silly things like, well, you know what? If you're black, you can't do something. Bob, there's people now saying that they were afraid after the elections they're going to wake up the next day a slave.
Well, are you talking about the text that went out?
The text? Well, this is just different things I've seen on Twitter.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean,
ridiculous.
I can't even, I don't recall even hearing that trope being pushed by anybody. It must have out there.
Well,
It didn't come from nowhere.
I'll find the out. No, it didn't. It's just people, they're losing their mind. But see, this is why I think it's happening. And this is where you're right, because this is this is where technology, things like Twitter and Facebook and all the other social medias, which we're on all of them, ladies and gentlemen. Leave us a comment, see? But let's play this next clip. Gary.
Before we do that, Gary's been patiently waiting. Hey, Gary, what's going on?
Hey, Bob. Hi, Peter.
Hey, Gary.
It's funny how you were talking about things don't change. I ran across an article in Town Hall, and they talked about the total number of votes cast in this country in presidential elections starting in 2004. And I'll give you the numbers rounded off in, 100 millions. And it's an interesting pattern. In 2004, there was 121 million. In 2008, there was 129 million. These are total votes. 2012, 127 million. 2016, 129 million. 2020, 156 million. And then in 2024, we're back to 129 million.
It's kind of hard to figure.
Ironically, there was a lot of people watching after the 2020 election that were called election deniers, people like Marley Hornick and United Sovereign Americans that filed lawsuits in Georgia, Colorado, Michigan, North Carolina, Texas, Florida, Ohio, PA, and Maryland. And there were other groups, Mike Lindell's group, and then True the Vote, and a handful of others that had a team of lawyers and poll watchers trained to watch. So is it possible that they couldn't pull the same dumps of ballots? You know, where did those 15 million voters go if this was the most important election of our time?
Well, you can't pull the same trick twice. It'll be too obvious, Gary.
Well, good thing for us, huh?
I agree.
But I just, for all the politicians and all of the news people around here that ignored my articles that I've sent them for the last 3 years about our work with New York Citizens Audit, I'm still waiting for a reply. I've offered everybody a chance to come on the radio and defend their position that was the cleanest election in history, and I'm still waiting. So anybody out there that wants to come on and tell us how 15 million votes just disappeared this time, I'd love to hear it.
Great. Thanks, Gary. Appreciate the call. His line is open 585-346-3000. We got more cuts to play here, Peter.
Yes, we do. Let's go with cut 6.
And with other Democratic AGs across this country to make sure that we would be ready to respond to any attempt to roll back our rights. So here we are. We've studied their platforms. We've identified certain possibilities, fact patterns. We've created contingency plans. So no matter what the next administration throws at us, we're ready. We're ready to respond to their attacks. We're ready to respond to any attempts to cut or eliminate any funding to the great state of New York, as the governor outlined. So despite what has happened on the national stage, we will continue to stand tall.
I have my
Justice, revenge, or retribution.
See, that right there is exactly why I believe that the narrative has changed, because they're spewing that rhetoric. The Mike, thank you for calling the Next Step Show.
I was exactly saying the same thing. That was a straight-up threat to the citizens of New York who voted for Trump or who even thought about voting for Trump. That is, if you say a word, the Queen is going to come down and slap you in the head. Okay? Her and Letitia James are going to use lawfare or whatever else they can pull to do that.
Yeah, that last clip was Letitia James, by the way. The one before that was Hocus Pocus. And we're going to have another one here in a minute, because, you know, these people are truly sitting here telling you, right? They're telling you. So it's up to us. What do you think? How do you think we should respond, Mike?
Well, I personally think that since we just had an election and we have a whole bunch of people that were just voted in, I believe that we should be calling people up every minute of the day. These people need to be held accountable now. They are our elected officials. Okay, we might be still the minority in New York State, unfortunately, but we need to have the voice. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. Okay, if we don't sit back and tell these people every day, you got to sell Walensky. Okay, Rule 5, sing and harass every day, not harass like the physical or that. Get in there and realize, tell them that we are here and we're not going to leave them get away with anything.
Hey, let me ask you a quick follow-up, and I apologize for interrupting, Mike, but I don't want to run out of time here. There's an average, it seems to be a trend of a 60-40 split that Republicans keep losing, and that's historical. That's almost consistent, and nothing changes it. Not a reduction in population, not a campaign strategy with a strong marketing backing and a lot of money. Nothing changes that. Why do you think that might be, Mike, from your opinion?
I don't know. Is it just the people around here? Is it something a little bit more mischievous? I don't know. All I know is when I went voting the other day, early, we had to put my ballot in the machine 3 times to get it to read. I don't know if that was an issue with anybody else. Mm-hmm. I have no idea, but is it just the liberal mentality around here? I don't know.
Hey, I'm not in any way insinuating that but it is just odd to me that nothing changes that number.
Nothing changed it. Nope. And I wasn't the only person there. There was 2 other people that I had noticed, and I had said something to somebody.
Absolutely. The Mike, I appreciate the call, sir. Make sure you call us back again. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take un segundo for a breather. We'll be right back right here in the Next Step Show on WYSL. 346-3000. Regresamos.
In the Rochester and Finger Lakes region, one name stands above all others for real estate appraisal and advice.
Ryan Murphy and Associates.
This full-service real estate appraisal company can appraise and advise on purchase and sales decisions, mortgage finance feasibility, estate, matrimonial, partnership buyouts, litigation, and more. For any type of property, both residential and commercial. Ryan Murphy was founded almost 40 years ago. All of our highly trained staff members have at least 20 years of experience. All our appraisers are either New York State certified general or residential real estate appraisers.
Ryan Murphy and Associates.
Start here. RYNNEMurphy.com.
Hi, my name is Greg Sadwick, and along with my son Zach, we are the owners of Flower City Collision. We've been advertisers on WYSL, the voice of liberty, for the last couple of years. So I want to thank the listeners of WYSL for their patronage, which has allowed us to grow and reinvest in the latest technologies to ensure that your vehicles are repaired to the most current standards, whether conventional or EV. If you are in a collision, reach out to Zach at Flower City Collision in Henrietta, and he'll work with your national insurance company on your local behalf to ensure that your repair gets done right.
Keep your vehicle in tip-top.
Last spot, and I have Dave.
1132 Westridge.
Rockport
has what your car, truck, or SUV needs. Oil change, brakes, suspension, alignments, exhaust, air conditioning, and tires. Check their Google reviews as one of Rochester's best for customer satisfaction. Owner and U.S. Army veteran Dave Harris welcomes military service personnel and veterans. Rock Auto Service, 1132 Westridge Road, just east of Mount Reed, 434-5010.
Next Steps with Peter Vasquez on the WYSL stations.
Proudly brought to you by Ryan Murphy and Associates Real Estate Appraisals, Residential commercial matrimonial estate refis, Western New York, the city, Finger Lakes, Flower City Collision, get it done right, and Rock City Auto, Westridge Road near Mount Reed. Again, here's Peter Vasquez.
See, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. And you know what? Let's go straight to the phone. Dave from Brockport. Senor, my hermano, my amigo. Thank you for calling the Next Step Show.
You always make me smile. It occurred to me after hearing that clip for about the third, fourth time, Ms. James may have spilled some beans. She mentioned retribution, right, and revenge. Now, those are secondary acts to a primary act. I want to know what the primary act was that they obviously committed if they're afraid of retribution and revenge. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, it's called projection. The Dems are really good at it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. Peter, great campaign. I was proud to help you as much as I could. And tell Chief third time's a charm, and don't you give up either.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for your support, hermano. I appreciate you.
No, it was fun, and I met a lot of great people. So hang in there, buddy. We'll get them sooner or later.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon. But we're working.
You had a much bigger result than you did last time, right?
Different race, but yeah, listen, I convinced 140,000 people to pay attention to the county clerk's office that's been kind of MIA for decades.
Yeah, and they have all the advantages of incumbency and the support of the Monroe County government and all the municipal employees and blah, blah.
Yeah. And other unions that claim fairness, although I did get that. But how much time? Do we have time to get through these next clips?
Yeah, if we move along with alacrity, as they say.
Let's move quickly. Ladies and gentlemen, listen closely. Let's play clip 7. Then I'm going to talk for a second, and then we'll do the next 4.
We will continue to protect and our most vulnerable and marginalized amongst us, because it is my sworn duty and responsibility to lead that fight, working with the governor of this great state, Kathy Hochul. This is not the time to be fearful, New York, but faithful and steadfast, knowing that I, as the Attorney General, along with my entire team, we are guardians of the law, and we are prepared, my friends, to fight back. Thank you.
Yeah, who are they fighting? I'd like to know. Talk about narcissism. Yikes.
Is that not a war call? I mean, I'm sorry, Bob. She is literally saying we're preparing for battle. And I, as your guardian of the law.
Egomaniac.
I wonder if she's going to come out with a cape in her next... Can we just do the next 4? Because this is all this stuff that we've been talking about is because Trump said this.
The left-wing gender insanity being pushed on our children is an act of child abuse.
Yeah.
Very simple. Here's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day 1, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe?
Look at phone.
Sign a new executive order instructing
Greg Rochester.
all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly. I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor youth will no longer meet federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare and will be terminated from the program immediately. My Department of Education will inform states and school districts that if any teacher or school official suggests to a child that they could be trapped in the wrong body, they will be faced with severe consequences, including potential civil rights violations for sex discrimination and the elimination of federal funding. As part of our new credentialing body for teachers, we will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers, and celebrating rather than erasing the things that make men and women different and unique. I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are assigned at birth. The bill will also make clear that Title IX prohibits men from participating in women's sports, and we will protect the rights of parents from being forced to allow their minor child to assume a gender which is new and an identity without the parents' consent. The identity will not be new, and it will not be without parental consent. No serious country should be telling its children that they were born with the wrong gender, a concept that was never heard of in all of human history. Nobody's ever heard of this, what's happening today. It was all when the radical left invented it just a few years ago. Under my leadership, this madness will end. Thank you very much.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
inspiring,
very inspiring, but that's what this whole governor and the AG in New York State are fighting against. Greg from Rochester, thank you for calling the Next Step Show.
Wow, how does anybody follow up to that? That was inspiring. That was incredible. Thank you, Mr. Trump. I just wanted to bring up, just for giggles, I thought I would listen to some of the more liberal shows going on over the last couple of days. And on XXI, I literally heard Miss Romeo, our current county clerk, I'm so sorry, Mr. Vasquez, she was literally talking about that she controls the timeline for processing whatever happens in Monroe County, and that is one of the ways that she can resist, quote unquote, the pending legislation coming down from the Trump administration. I was appalled, and she was giggling about it.
Yeah, she must be pretty ecstatic that she can continue to do her campaigning for Kamala, because she sure as heck isn't being the county clerk.
I'm just so sad. I'm a 30-year county employee, recently retired, and unfortunately, that's what represents what I did. I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted.
I wonder if she controls the timetable for polishing Joe Morelli's car, and shining up his shoes. Just a curious, just an angle here.
And Bello.
Oh, well, yeah. I'm tempted to say something really inelegant.
Hey, just call yourself Archie Bunker. Hey, Greg, what would you like to share? Any words you have before we let you go that you'd share with those that have retained their office here locally?
Well, listen to the voters.
What a concept.
The voters, even though New York still tends to go, Democratic, and you've had some other callers that have suggested there might be shenanigans. That aside, listen to everyone. If a politician truly does their job, it's to try to serve everyone and find the common ground, not go one way and literally call everyone else garbage or, thank you, Mr. Cuomo, you don't belong in this state. That's disgusting.
Hey, you're going to make sure you keep your faith in our guardian of the law, the superhero Letitia James, right? Because that's what she's asking for.
Oh, dear Lord, please. Now I'm going to speak inappropriately.
It's very tempting. It's kind of hard to when you start talking about these jokers. She is really a piece of work, Letitia James. Holy moly! I mean, talk about having nothing to do with the law.
Anti-American, that woman is.
Just an authoritarian. She's just a thug.
Absolutely. Gary, I truly appreciate your call, sir. I truly appreciate all of you for caring enough to vote this election cycle. And really, regardless of what side of the aisle you stand it on, regardless of where it is that you, do we have another call? Wherever you stood, listen, I'm glad you voted. But the thing is this, we can't continue down this divisive. We need to get back to a day where we can have, shows starting like All in the Family, where we're talking about things.
And laughing about them. It's not that big a deal. It's really not that big a deal. Listen, you're not going to eliminate all racists. There's going to be individual racists here and there. You're going to encounter them, and what you do is you ridicule them and move on. It's institutional racism. I'm sorry, lefties. It's dead. It's been dead. It's as dead as disco.
Until they brought it back, because Keith is right. Obama did bring that back. Did you know that Carol O'Connor talks about how proud he was of his role as Archie, as controversial as it was? A liberal.
Well, he should. It was a tour de force character.
Absolutely. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a great weekend. Mira, be a leader, be a leader, be a leader. Y nunca te olvide, leadership is the beacon that guides us, see? For it's through selfless service that we illuminate the way for others to find their own greatness. Y nunca te olvide, la voz de libertad, sí? Y tu conservative New Yorker, Peter Vasquez, siempre te amamos. Y mira, God bless these United States of America.
Y he vivido lo más dulce de placer. No soy niño empedernido, no me busques, te lo pido. Reconoce que el amor llegó esta vez. Soy cara de niño, con alma de hombre. Quiero amarte para siempre, pero tú no me respondes. Soy cara de niño, con alma de hombre. Ven, conóceme, te reto, y allá
FM Talk. Keep your vehicle in tip-top shape. For quality, affordable vehicle service, rely on Rock Auto Service. 1132 West